30. It is finished. It is finished. Around the 21st week of pregnancy, my wife, who was carrying our second child, our son, whom we named Christian, went into premature labor. Immediately, I began to pray hard. All I wanted is for my wife and son to be all right. We called our family and those who were close to us and asked them to pray as well. But brothers and sisters, despite our fervent prayers, our son Christian died after being alive for only 2 hours. Brothers and sisters, if I can be honest and transparent with you all this evening, despite the fact that I grew up in a Christian home, despite the fact that I attended church regularly, despite the fact that I have heard countless sermons and preached countless times, I must admit that there are times like when my son Christian died that I find myself in an internal battle of trying to keep the faith. Is there anybody that's with me this evening? I find myself praying, Lord, I believe. Help me with this unbelief. Oftentimes, things simply don't work out the way we want them to. Have you ever prayed and cried and snotted and got ugly and went before God, but that thing didn't end the way you wanted it to end? You prayed that God would heal your loved one, didn't you? But their healing never came. In today's society, it seems as though pain and suffering are a constant. With so many school shootings, with a narcissistic and racist president, with the mass incarceration and killing of our black men, sometimes it appears as though evil is winning. Whether you admit it or not, the trials and disappointments of life can become so heavy and so prevalent that they can make you question God and ask, God, where are you? In our text, after all Jesus did for folk, after healing the sick, restoring sight to the blind, casting out demons, walking on water, causing the storms to cease, raising folk from the dead, y'all, feeding thousands with a couple of pieces of J&J fish, praying and fasting and washing people's nasty feet, performing miracles. After all the positives that Jesus did, Jesus out of all people found himself nailed to a cross, suffering one of the most degrading and agonizing executions in Roman history. And in verse 30, after drinking the wine, Jesus declares, "It is finished," and then bows his head and dies. One biblical scholar declares that the text conveys the notion of the completion of rites of sacrifice and initiation. It is finished speaks to the dichotomy of Jesus' declaration. On one side, it's sacrifice. On the other side, it's initiation. Can I break it down for you all? It is finished denotes sacrifice, which is the crowning point of the life and ministry of Jesus. Sacrifice is the completion of Jesus' mission. Sacrifice is Jesus giving his life through death to save a wretch like you and I. It is finished represents sacrifice. Are you all with me this evening? But on the other side, it is finished also denotes initiation. Well, what do you mean by that, preacher? Well, I'm glad you all asked. Initiation represents the action of beginning something. Initiation denotes a starting, a commencement. Initiation represents a newness. Sacrifice, completion, initiation, newness. You see, you can't have an ending without a beginning, and you can't have a beginning without an ending. I feel like preaching here this evening. It is finished. Brothers and sisters, when Jesus declares it is finished, he is really saying, yes, I'm dead on this cross. It is finished. But brothers and sisters, my death has brought a new beginning for you and I. So can I give you the DW version of this text? That's the Derrick version of this text. In the DW version of this text, 19 and 30 states, it is finished, but it is not final. That's your shout right there. It is finished, but it is not final. Jesus is speaking loud and clear to us from the cross tonight. Yes, there will be down times. Yes, it may feel like you're all alone. Yes, we might not get the answers that we want. Yes, we will have pain and grief and disappointment. But even though it's finished, it is not final. Meaning that despite the hell that we are experiencing, our life is not over. It is finished, but it is not final. As long as I have breath in my body, as long as I have activity of my limbs, there is still hope. There is still a future. It is finished, but it's not final. Is there anybody in the house that knows that it's finished, but it is not final? Shout glory! They hung Jesus high. They stretched him wide. They nailed him to the cross. He was fighting the good fight. He was taking some horrific blows for you and I. Thorns and nails. He couldn't breathe. He was spat on. He was beaten. He was sunburned. His boys deserted him. He died, you all. He was in a battle physically, but also spiritually. Satan thought he won. But I'm so glad that the story didn't end with Jesus' sacrifice. But in 3 days, there would be an initiation, a new beginning, and a new start. If you believe it and you thank God for a new beginning, shout glory. It was finished on the cross when Jesus died, but it was not final for Jesus because the grave could not hold Jesus. Death could not hold Jesus, but Jesus got up with all power in his hands. It is finished, but it's not final. Can I add another DW version? It is finished. It's not final. And since it's not final, Jesus can fix it. Jesus can fix every situation that you go through. If you believe it, shout glory. I just stopped by Pastor Green for a few minutes to tell somebody it is finished, but it is not final. And since it's not final, Jesus can fix it. Though we lost our son Christian, Christian's life on this earth was finished, but not final. Because I believe that right now Christian is in the arms of Jesus. I believe that one day I'll see my baby boy again. It is finished, but it's not final. Though Christian's life on earth can never be replaced, but like one of my favorite rappers, Biggie Smalls, said, he said there's life after death. After Christian, God blessed us with not one, but two beautiful daughters, Peyton and Morgan Warren. I feel like preaching in this house tonight. It is finished, but it is not final. And since it's not final, Jesus can fix it. Do you need Jesus to fix it? Shout yes! One door closes, God can open another door. One chapter ends, another one begins, because Jesus is on our side. I just want to preach to you today that it's not final, because Jesus is still pushing us forward. Shout glory. I'm closing. Jesus' disciples' hope was buried when they heard that Jesus died on the cross. But when Jesus was resurrected and he appeared before them, their hope was also resurrected. Are you with me? Brothers and sisters, if Jesus can resurrect the hope of disciples that ran off on him, don't you think he can resurrect your dead situation? Jesus can resurrect and fix every dead situation in your life. Your marriage may have ended. It's all right. It is finished, but it's not final. Keep on fixing up, baby. Keep on throwing your suit on. Keep on putting your fibers in your hair. God will bring someone else that's better in your life. It is finished. It is not final. And since it's not final, Jesus can fix it. Lost your job. It is finished, but God can open a door for another job. I am a living witness that God can turn it around. Keep sending out resumes. Keep on going on interviews, because it is finished, but it's not final. And since it's not final, Jesus can fix it, because I got hope. I got a future. I got joy. I got joy. Is there anybody that believes there's joy? Shout glory. As I take my seat, trouble in my way. I had to cry sometimes, laid awake at night, but that's all right, because Jesus will fix it. After a while, Jesus can fix it. It is finished, but it's not final. Jesus will fix it after a while. If you believe it, shout yes.